Russian sanctions to cripple its financial, energy and transport sectors, and oligarchs lose billions overnight. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Faraj. The U.S. Treasury is targeting 80% of all banking assets in Russia. Specifically, it's targeting Russia's two largest financial institutions, the public joint stock company Sberbank of Russia and VTB Bank Public Joint Stock Company. It's imposing blocking sanctions on three additional Russian banks, Otkriti, Novacom and Sovcom. It's also implementing debt and equity prohibitions against major state-owned and private entities. There are also new actions against a wider circle of Russian individuals close to President Putin and part of the elite. Meanwhile, the White House says it will try to prevent high oil prices by releasing oil from its emergency reserves. EU leaders agreed to punish Moscow by imposing severe sanctions targeting its financial, energy and transport sectors. The sanctions target 70% of the banking market and key state-owned companies. They also prohibit Russians from putting large deposits in EU banks and from purchasing euro-denominated securities. They include an export ban on equipment and technology Russia needs to upgrade its oil refineries, and an export ban on aircraft and plane parts to Russian airlines. And the sanctions limit Russia's access to crucial technology like semiconductors. Wheat hit its highest level since 2008, adding to international inflation worries as Russia's invasion puts a vital source of global supplies at risk. Futures in Chicago advanced by as much as 2.8% to $9.60 a bushel after surging by the maximum allowed by the exchange and getting locked there for hours. The price of corn and soybeans also rose. Russia and Ukraine are key suppliers of agricultural products, accounting for more than a quarter of the world wheat trade. Given the size of Russia and Ukraine economies, Ukraine will be the hardest hit in this conflict. IMF figures show Russia's $1.65 trillion economy is 9 times bigger than Ukraine's $181 billion economy. The Russian economy grew by 4.7% last year, while the Ukrainian economy recorded 3.5% growth. The average annual inflation of Ukraine reached 9.5% in 2001, while Russia's was much lower at 5.9%. Let's take a look now at today's Forbes Real-Time Billionaires ranking. It tracks the daily ups and downs of the world's richest people. No surprise that our second and third place losers today are Russian business people. But first, the biggest loser is Bernard Arnault and family, down $8 billion with net wealth of $174.2 billion. Our second biggest loser today owns 25% of Lukoil. Russia's Vaget Alekperov is down $3.3 billion today with net wealth of $21.3 billion. And our third place loser is Russian steel, travel and tourism industry mogul Alexei Mordashov and family, down $3.2 billion with net wealth of $29.1 billion. Check out our website and our social media for all of the latest Billionaires news. In other news, Saudi Arabia's public investment fund has opened 3 new subsidiary companies' offices in London, New York, and Hong Kong as part of its global expansion. The Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund's ongoing global expansion comes as part of its 2021 through 2025 strategy. The strategy incorporates plans to grow its assets under management to $1.07 trillion by the end of 2025, while creating new opportunities and sectors. Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba Group has posted its slowest quarterly revenue growth since going public in 2014, owing to a dip in sales in its main business segment and rising competition. Alibaba saw a 10% rise in the group's revenue to $38.1 billion for Q4 2021. This marks the first time the quarterly sales growth fell below 20% since going public. Alibaba says the results are on the back of the slowing Chinese economy as consumers cut back on discretionary spending. Novak Djokovic lost his Dubai quarterfinal and his world #1 ranking in one go last night as he suffered a 6-4, 7-6 upset at the hands of Czech world #1 Jiří Veselý. Competing in his first tournament since getting deported from Australia, Djokovic needed to at least reach the semi-finals in Dubai to try and stop Daniil Medvedev from replacing him at the top of the rankings. I'm Ramia Faraj. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.